I'm Louise, and I am the founder of Hammersley Homes. My sister's behaviour started to change when she was at university in her late teens. She became unpredictable. An unkind side emerged, which was really hard to understand. Oh, I need to do this, don't I? Sorry. Oh, no. We found excuses for her. My parents couldn't bear to consider the possibility that she might be mentally unwell. But eventually she ended up in a situation that led to a court order for a prolonged stay on a mental health ward. Back then, mental illness was a taboo subject, and my parents considered it disloyal to talk about it. So we kept quiet. We weren't then aware of how widespread the problem was and how mental illness takes over the lives of the whole family. That was 50 years ago. Some of you may well know just what I'm talking about. Others won't. But it is a huge problem, believe me, and not just for the sufferers and their families, but for society. Over 1 million people in the UK, over 500,000 people in the UK are registered with a serious mental illness. And it's estimated that as many again are unregistered, mostly either living with their families, homeless, or in prison. That means that over 1 million people in the UK live with a serious mental illness, and probably over 4 million are indirectly affected by it. After years of struggling to find long-term support for my sister and the many thousands like her, and witnessing the gaps in the system firsthand, I founded Hammersley Homes in 2018. Our mission is simple: to offer long-term stability, safety, and a sense of community to vulnerable adults with enduring mental health challenges who struggle with living independently. Temporary housing does exist, and for as long as residents are there, it works. They aren't alone. They're amongst friends to talk to and socialise with. However, the aim is always reintegration into the community and a return to independent living where they struggle. Their mental health deteriorates, leading to a vicious cycle of home, trouble, police, courts, hospital, rehabilitation, home, and trouble again. Often the only time serious mental illness is reported is when there's a tragedy, and those living with psychotic illnesses are depicted as dangerous, frightening, and criminal. But all this is preventable. Today, more people live alone than have ever before in history. But for vulnerable people, independence can mean loneliness and isolation, which we're told can be as harmful as smoking and alcohol. We all need friends, and social interaction is crucial for our well-being. But vulnerable people don't have this as given. All we're saying is, if this temporary housing model works, let's make it permanent for as long as residents want to be there. After all, supported housing is a great deal less expensive than a hospital stay. My sister's been in hospital more times than I can remember. And 2 of our local mental health wards in Hampshire tell me that 80% of their patients are what they call revolving door patients, returning time and time again. Decade after decade, little to nothing has changed, and we at Hammersley Homes are very determined to make that change. While we work towards establishing our first residential Hammersley Homes, our outreach team, staff, and volunteers visit people referred to so far are helping about 100 people living with severe mental illness in Hampshire. Our outreach team visit people referred to us mainly by community mental health teams, helping with anything that may be struggling with, such as online access, food and nutrition, money management, budgeting, and encouraging hobbies and social interaction and engagement with community activities. And it's really working. We receive wonderfully rewarding feedback. Our clients say they look forward to our visits And it's so great to see their confidence building as our outreach support workers accompany them to do things that they may have wanted to do for ages, but have never been brave enough to do it on their own. After all, new things are always easier when we're not alone. One of our outreach workers told us recently that one of her clients had left her house after 17 years of never going out. Now she goes out regularly, and she's even volunteering occasionally in a local charity shop, and she's loving it. Our outreach service receives 2 or 3 referrals every week, and we just can't keep up with demand. Sorry, I've completely lost my place. Finding volunteers to help us is difficult, mostly because of the fear that stems from misinformation around people with mental illness. Wouldn't it be great if we could engage as many volunteers as organisations like AIDS UK? We received a lottery grant last year, which was a terrific endorsement of our work. But to scale our support and continue to raise awareness of the issues we champion, we need to constantly fundraise for more paid staff. So today, we're asking you for £10,000 to enable us to afford to work with a part-time consultant professional fundraiser through 2025. Our goal is for them to raise enough money for us to continue paying a professional fundraiser into the future. Large charities employ whole teams of professional fundraisers to raise the money that they need to fund their work. Small charities can't afford this luxury, and fundraising is an ongoing challenge. We've worked occasionally with professional fundraisers in the past, and we know this approach works. Mental illness can affect anyone, regardless of background or circumstance. Please help us to keep supporting people like my sister and, of course, their families. Thank you.